Hello, my dear students. We are going to enjoy again with chemistry. Why? Because science is fun and enjoyable when you understand the chemistry. In this case, you will play with molecules. Don't be afraid from it. However, this is the biggest class of chemical compounds, which is protein chemistry. We are going to simplify it. We start with amino acid. We learned it before in the previous video. Amino means NH2 group. And the nitrogen, remember, it contains 3 bonds, carbon 4 bonds, and oxygen 2 bonds, right? So amino NH2 acid is carboxylic group, which is carbonyl and OH. That's why we call it carboxylic group. In between the amino and the carboxylic, we have CH, which carry R. R is a side chain. As we learned before, it can be alkyl group like proton, then it is amino acid. And CH3, different amino acid. It can be even aromatic moiety. So, if this amino acid reacted with another amino acid, so I repeat the same molecule again. Now you understand it. Okay, think with me. When you have OH and H, what will happen? I can hear you. It is condensation reaction, which is OH will goes away with hydrogen as water because it is called the condensation. Then you write the molecule as it is. So you continue this first amino acid and connect it with the second amino acid. Now it is 2 units of amino acid connected with each other. That's why we call this peptide linkage. Why this is peptide? Because if you have 50 of such amino acid connected together, then you can say it peptide. Can you imagine this amino acid? If you have 333 of such amino acid connected together, this is our DNA. Very big molecule. So we start with so much small, and it goes 333 connected together in the same way I have explained. And the average molecular weight of amino acid, which is AA, is 110 Dalton. What about the Dalton? It is the atomic mass unit. If it is kilodalton, now I can hear you. Kilo is 1,000 Dalton. What about protein, which is the biggest molecule? It is 64 of this KDA. It means 64 KDA, and the Dalton is 1,000, so it means it will be about 64,000 Dalton. This is the protein. And it can go up to 100,000. So you can imagine how big the molecule. And as I said, the peptide, definition of peptide is 50 amino acids connected together in the same way. And what about if it is more than 50 amino acids, it is started to form protein, right? After we learn about amino acid, if you connected 5 amino acids together, so with this peptide linkage, I start with the first one. You remember? It was NH, CHR, C double bond O. Next amino acid. You repeat it again. NH, CHR, C double bond O. Number 3, 4, 5. So it means that this is N-terminal. What about if you stop by here? Because this is the first amino acid. Then we call it this C-terminal. So C-terminal, N-terminal. So each amino acid ended by C. That's why we notice N-terminal and N ended by C. And repeat it again. I think it is very easy. Now, if you draw these 5 amino acids, what about if you connected, for example, this hydrogen, if it comes to this oxygen? This in chemistry, oxygen with hydrogen can be connected with each other. That's why we call it hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding. Why? Because the hydrogen connected with oxygen by a bond called hydrogen bonding, right? In this case, also this oxygen, it can be connected with the hydrogen here. For example, here you have hydrogen. It can connect it with this hydrogen through a bond called hydrogen bonding, etc. You can take this oxygen with this hydrogen. Then again, it is hydrogen bonding. This is what you call it alpha helix. So alpha helix means that the hydrogen bonding. It makes sense, right? What about if it is beta helix? It means I should take another molecule. Now you can draw it by yourself. This side, another sequence, because this we call it amino acid sequence, right? So if you draw again here, but then the NH will be this one, right? And then it will be continue until you have another molecule NH here, right? Then it form hydrogen bonding like that. So it will be between two compounds to form hydrogen bonding, right? This will be continued until here, in order to form hydrogen bonding. In order to form NH, in order to form such hydrogen bonding. So when you have such two sequences, then you call it beta helix. Now you can draw and practice by yourself about the unit of amino acid. And remember that between two units, we call it peptide linkage, right? So from this point of view, we have three primary structure, secondary structure, three structure, third structure, and a fourth. But this I cannot draw it. I must show it to you by a slide. Now you can see the proton synthesis is very easy because it is just the amino acid connected with each other, right? So these letters, each letter means amino acid, but you don't need to memorize every amino acid structure. You have to understand what I explained before, right? We are going to next slide. What about protein folding? This is just to show you how each color of that, how it can be folded together. So the animated GIF image shows a synthetic folding for small alpha helical protein. You remember the alpha helical protein when I explained to you the alpha carbon atoms. Here is the backbone, and this is what I explained to you before. But I can show it to you again in the next slide, how it look like the backbone. It can be primary structure, or secondary, or tertiary, or quaternary structure. This is a picture of folding structure. It looks very nice, but of course all this just only to give you how it look like, but you don't need to memorize it or remember it. This is what I have explained to you about first amino acid. Now you know NHCHR C double bond O. Then it started to connect it to next amino acid through the peptide bond. If you take any oxygen here with the hydrogen, so oxygen of one amino acid to the hydrogen of the second one, this form alpha helix, or between this hydrogen and another oxygen. So the hydrogen bonding of the same series is called the alpha helix. Next one will show you beta helix. What it means, I take one and another one, so two. And then you can see oxygen with hydrogen of the first, make hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen bonding. So between two, you call it beta structure or beta helix, right? So then it shows you each amino acid when it is connected with the hydrogen bonding, how it look like. Then another feature about beta structure or alpha helix and beta helix. It started to form such folding of N terminal, as I told you before, and the C terminal. So each sequence must have this ended by N, and the other side it must be ended by carbon atom. And now you can see how it look like by the three-dimensional structures. I hope you get it now familiar, and you start with play with molecules. Another series of amino acid I told you, it can be even aromatic compound. So for each amino acid is, for example, leucine, arginine, etc. Each amino acid different in the R, as I explained to you before. I hope you like the chemistry, and I'm looking forward to see you again. And please spread this video as much as possible, and play with you a paper and a pen with such structures. Thank you, and see you again.